big data buzz has certainly not died down. We are actually at a very nascent stage and where we are constantly doing our research and development to augment the technology and to match the demand of the time. So you have to understand where it has all started. It started decades back when we are all doing the business research and marketing research to understand the customer, to understand the market, and to understand our promotions better. Now, with the advent of the social media, the amount of data increased in multifold. And so all the infrastructure, the algorithms to address that amount of data, we need to come out with better analytics, we need to have a better data management, we need to have better data governance. So entire infrastructure went for a sea change and the amount of data constantly keeps increasing still today. So we are constantly upgrading ourselves in terms of the technology, in terms of the algorithm, in terms of the infrastructure, and we are certainly addressing the challenge on a day-to-day basis. So it is certainly not dying, rather we are constantly evolving to address the challenge better. Culture. Now, what's the change in culture? The data-driven decision making is still not being taken across all the companies. Managers tend to take decisions based on their experiences and intuitions. So there should be a change in mindset that the decisions has to be taken entirely on an objective basis, and whatever the data says, whatever the analytics which is rightly applied on the data, whatever that analytics prescribes, the decision has to be based on that. That is the kind of change in mindset we need to bring. That is number one. And number two, to make that happen, we should have the right resources in terms of human resources, the data scientists across the companies, and the right infrastructure to get the data, to manage the data, and to analyze the data. So this twofold strategy, one is the change in culture and the second one is the right resources will certainly help in digital transformation. So there is nothing, like technology for technology's sake. All technologies should add value to the customers. And you can see a number of examples in today's world, starting from the banking domain. How we bank today and how we used to bank around a decade back are entirely different. And in the coming years, we are going to have driverless cars. So the entire impact of the technology is very different what we are going to have in future and how it is going to leverage in the user experience. But what we can think of from a different perspective here is that how data and the analytics is going to make this world a better place for the human beings to live in. Can we leverage analytics from an altruistic perspective? Can analytics be leveraged for crime prevention? Can analytics be leveraged for making a smart city? Answer is certainly yes. And many of the cities, many of the organizations are doing the same. So I believe if we can think just beyond the business perspective and bring an altruistic perspective to it, I think that would serve the purpose of analytics much better. So the companies can only leverage the skills and platforms available today if only they are having the right data. Otherwise, with all your skills and platforms, you can't do much. So from the past years, the data were never organized in that way, so that today's analytics tools and techniques can actually generate insight out of it. So the primary focus should be now on data governance. Once we have the right data managed in the right way, then only the analytics tools and techniques can work on it to generate the right insight about it. Well, I don't think it will have an adverse effect to rely on data and technology, but the industry should not rely on data and technology alone. They should also have a kind of humanitarian perspective, both towards the customers and for the employees. They have to be sensitive about the human they are always interacting with. I recalled about Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times, and it has been shown that how over-relying on technology just demean the humanitarian ground. So in today's world, we can't afford that. That's so very important for us. So I would suggest there will be the right blending, right amalgamation of both the data and technology part, as well as the humanitarian perspective and being more sensitive towards the customers and the employees with whom you are working.